Well, my name is Rafer Johnson, and I was most fortunate to represent America in the Olympic Games in 1956 in Melbourne, Australia. I was fortunate enough to win a silver medal. Not why I went there, but being there and being a part of the opening ceremonies and even the closing ceremonies, the first time they ever used the occasion to have anybody march in who they want to march in with, and that was really a nice little thing because I made a lot of friends during those games. And then I came back in 1960 and won a gold medal in Rome in the decathlon. And again, I went from second to first, which is what all Olympians would like to do, and I was most fortunate to have that happen. But along the way, I made one of the best friends I've ever made in track and field, and that was Yang from Taiwan. And he and I were teammates at UCLA, and so we had together a very tough two-day competition. I won gold and he won silver, and I look back on that as one of the great moments in sport for me. Not so much because of the win, but because I made a lifetime friend. And then in 1984, as you know, which is part of the reason we're here, I carry the torch into the stadium in the opening ceremonies. And that was like a little different for me because I'd been an athlete for the other two occasions. And in this one, I was a volunteer. I was on the board of directors, executive committee, and had the unbelievable honor of working with Peter Uberall. And he was the best thing that ever happened to the Olympic movement. Anita DeFrance was along with him, who I subsequently had the honor of working with in LA '84. So it's been like a glorious time, or times for me, sports and the Olympics. And I'm very pleased to be here this evening with many of the members of the team of '84, a lot of the people who volunteered and worked those games, and I'm looking forward to a very nice evening.
Rafer, let's catch up now. What are you up to these days? What are some of the projects that you're working on now?
I've continued to be involved with young people. I was so privileged growing up in a very small town in Central California, a little town of Kingsburg, in the middle of the state, and they had unbelievably great youth programs for all the kids, for those who were talented and for those who had an opportunity to learn more about competition, about being fit and healthy and what it takes to be the best you can be. And so I've continued to work with LA '84. I'm deeply involved with Special Olympics and some other youth groups in this city that has to do with working with young kids and maybe giving them a slap on the back in some direction early. And I was honored to get that kind of help, and I've continued down through the years to do the same.
And Rafer, what is it like being here now, 30 years later? What is it like looking back on all this?
Well, again, I've talked about that occasion on many occasions, and the words I use, they're adequate to express in a way how I feel, but there are really no words that actually nail the feeling I had in 1956 in the Olympics in Melbourne. No adequate words for the Olympic gold in Rome against my friend Yang, and absolutely no words for being honored by Peter Uberall to carry the torch into the opening ceremonies in 1984. I thought I was dying. My heart was beating so hard, and it's a feeling that you just don't get that often. But it's one that I've had the honor of going through, and I'm just pleased to be here tonight with so many people who made those games important and made them so successful in '84.